Let's actually hear from Lasha. What was your impression the first half of today's event?
The labs that we went to, they were extremely important because especially I would like to underline one of them that was about the street art and actually like transforming the education for children into allowing them to express them through taking part in a lot of exercises and programs through the street art. Because nowadays we struggle a lot with the education. What I mean is that there are many people who don't find themselves to fit into the system that we have nowadays. A lot of them who would like to express themselves, the ones that would like to dedicate their lives to serving specific ideas. So the street art is something that allows them to try to think and try to express what this idea means for them and how they would like to express it. What's also important is you heard a lot of people speaking up about their own ideas, about best practices when it comes to the similar ideas that were presented at the labs. So I think it was extremely important for learning it, but also like having a say if there is something you're proud of in your country, so that you actually allow them to know about this.
Lasha, you have participated in this lab which actually connects, democracy with art. What do you think we, like using tools as, arts, but also like other tools that we can actually, learn not only from schools, but also, on the streets, how can these tools, better contribute to have a more democratic society where participation is at the core of it?
Well, I would like to refer to one example that I actually also raised at the lab. I was traveling to Iran earlier this year, and I was in the city, in the capital, in Tehran. And there was this point that we decided to take a walk and go to different streets and see the architecture. But what actually I saw was there was a lot of street art. And then the place which you felt was actually quiet and silent. You could really see that the walls were screaming. They were like trying to express a lot of things and a lot of ideas and a lot of emotions. So I think when we combine that, in a way, the people who are participating in the street art, in a culture, they somehow to me form this invisible network. That very often when you travel and you go to different cities, you find the street art that are very common and very similar to the one you found in another one. So they somehow create this network and they are connected. And when people see that the street art allows you to express yourself, the public space that you use for drawing, that's actually a public space that actually belongs to you. So when you use the public street for painting, you actually reclaim it back. You actually claim that you own it, and that's yours. And in my opinion, this is a very direct way of democracy. And that's something we need to tell to children, to adults, that when you see a street art in the street, you might think, oh, you're making my street look ugly. But at the same time, this is a way you portray that you own this place. This is a democracy, in my opinion, reflected in the street art.
Let's talk a little bit more about democracy, and since we are kind of combining these two aspects together, let's listen a little bit about what are your experiences in terms of democracy, and why is it important to both of you? So we may start with Lasha this time.
Yeah, democracy for me is quite important. I was born in a country which is now completely different. I'm from the Republic of Georgia, and Georgia has gone through this way of being under the Soviet occupation for 70 years. And then after the independence was restored, the whole new process started. So for me, it's extremely important that people are giving a say, that they are able to say their opinions, they're able to express themselves. And democracy for me is something that allows you to do that, respecting other people's opinions, realizing that being different and thinking differently, it's actually very good. Because even though the human beings were equal, we're at the same time equally different from each other. So democracy for me is something that allows you to live this diversity, which is beautiful.
That's great. What was the major takeaway of these 2 days we have experienced yesterday and today?
Democracy is a learning process which never ends.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.